Welcome to the seminar tonight. It's great you join me on this webinar. My name is Glenn from Launch Assist, and I've been with Launch for 17 years, and every year I've presented a PAD series unit, and this year with 2021 we're releasing the PAD VII. Now this seminar is actually going to be sent over only by Facebook at this time because we had technical problems like usually. So it's great to hear from you. If you want to put comments to the Facebook page and let us know where you actually are from, so we can know how far we're covering this webinar. Now, with the PAD VII, we are going to introduce a little bit about the introduction of it first. I'm going to cover that. The next one, I'll cover the features regarding the PAD VII. The specifications I'll cover in the seminar, and on UPS, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now regarding the as I said, with comments you can put it on. We will not be answering back as this is just a live seminar and it's recorded to Facebook, so you can actually play it back later when you're ready to review this seminar. So let's get right to it. We're talking today about the presentation is mainly on the PAD VII and mainly its differences between the other PADs that are the previous models, and we'll see that later regarding the differences. Now the introduction first is it's a comprehensive scan tool, so it's a high range of our products. The PAD VII is larger and it is smarter and full functional, so it's all in one. So the whole unit has been designed around this, adding modules to the PAD VII and increasing the capabilities of the unit. The PAD VII is a larger screen. It's a 13.3 inch screen, and we're actually releasing it with the SmartLink VCI. So it gives us the capabilities, expanding the capabilities of the PAD VII. The PAD VII has 3 handles in it, so for convenience, depending upon we want to do a normal carry handle, a hook area that you can hook it behind. The PAD VII has a hook area where you can hook it to a bonnet underneath the car or just carry it, and also a handle that's adjustable regarding the putting it on a bench or workbench somewhere, or looking inside the vehicle's dashboard. The PAD VII comes with 8 gig and 256 memory, so it's a lot larger. It's dual Wi-Fi like the previous model, and also has the front and rear camera. The box that it comes into will have all the cables and connections regarding the smart VCI to hook it up to the PAD VII. So one is enough. Features. Now with this seminar it's going to be reasonably short, so I won't take too much of your time, but what we want to discuss is mainly the benefits of the PAD VII and its differences. So one of the biggest advantages with the PAD VII is not only the large screen, but also the VCI is coming, that we can actually hook it directly to other platforms. So the normal platform will be the PAD VII hook directly as a normal scan tool and do its all functions via the VCI as a normal scan tool operations and programming and so forth. The other special function with the VCI we're using is the J2535. We can use it via this VCI also in this kit. So it comes equipped where we were able to hook up to the OE software and do the J2535 programming. The other thing with the VCI SmartLink is we can hook remotely to the VCI OEM scan tools and remote diagnose the vehicle via the VCI. So not only use the launch PAD tablet, but we also can use an OEM scan tool and hook it up via the VCI using the platform. And next I want to really talk about the platform itself. The PAD VII has a wider coverage than all the scan tool models. So it's over 110 models and it's growing. It has the powerful diagnostics, so it has all the diagnostics that we're used to in the previous models regarding the intelligent diagnosis and remote diagnosis. This is actually different also to the smart diagnosis, remote diagnosis. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. It has all the capabilities of bidirectional encoding and programming that we are used to on the previous pads. It supports all the protocols regarding the communications via the VCI, so you won't have to worry about odd vehicles or odd communications, because the VCI is capable of doing both commercial and passenger vehicles in the one VCI. SmartLink. SmartLink is what's been one of the advantages that we have added to this PAD VII this year, and it's to do with the remote diagnosis as one of its functions. And just a brief talk a little bit over the benefits of having this VCI. Now, SmartLink itself runs on a platform that you may or may not be aware of. So it's a matter of hooking it up to the vehicle, and also at the same time on the computer or on the tablet itself, you can actually log in. Once you're logged in and have a registration done, you can actually sign a appointment or a job to the platform regarding the vehicle that wants to be diagnosed remotely, and this information then is sent to the technician of your desire, so you can pick your own technician or somebody that also runs the B connector, SmartLink B, and all its platform to receive the SmartLink C connector. So the PAD VII's kit will come equipped with this function. All you need to do is then register your SmartLink C to the platform, and then you can actually assign an appointment or a job to that regarding that vehicle that you wanted to diagnose remotely, and then it can be sent via the internet to a service technician that runs a B connector platform. So it's as simple as that. And this will cater where the B connector technician can have an OEM scan tool or a launch scan tool, the PAD III at the other end, and do the diagnosis for you or any of the functions that the scan tool is capable of doing remotely. The other feature that the PAD VII has, and you've probably seen it on previous ones, is the pin identification of the OBD port. So this is a good way, if you don't have a multimeter to check the pins to see if there's a problem with communications, because sometimes when you plug into the scan tool, you've got no communications to that module, so sometimes it might be a communication problem with the CAN bus or wiring or so forth. So in most cases you might even have to use an oscilloscope, but if you don't have it on hand, the PAD 7 has it built in where we actually see the ports and do a diagnosis of the 16-pin OBD plug. And this will actually give you a quick diagnosis if the CAN bus is good or bad. And also if I've got a problem with the wiring harness to the port itself. It's quick and easy for people that don't have a multimeter or a oscilloscope on hand. So it's a good quick indication that there could be a wiring or a module problem. And you can see an example where I've got the pin 16 and 14 has voltages, and that's a good indication that these are the right voltages. And also it's actually communicated with the CAN bus and give us the baud rate of that CAN bus signal. So it's a good indication that the communications is working, and it's something else that why I can't talk to that module, or the module's not talking to other modules. Now, one of the things I do like is the new Topology module. It's a great one page that you can actually go to and do a scan on the whole vehicle systems. It indicates to you exactly how many fault codes are within that module, and also you can directly access that module via this point of this page directly. And also on this page itself, we can see you can enter into the system or special function, and it's a great area where you can just go to this page and enter the special function directly and perform the function from one page after you do the scan. So an example, if I press the BEM on this board module, it's got 9 faults. So basically all I need to do is press the BM button, and it will bring up a page and indicate the faults there and then on the same page. So it's very quick and easy to access that module if it's got a problem. So I can give a complete health report and a visual inspection on what should be operating and what should not be operating. So some cases where the module is offline and it should be online, I can actually see that it is offline regarding it's hasn't been scanned properly, and I may need to look in further regarding wiring, or the module is faulty itself. So it's a great page to operate, and so simple and quick to do the reports and go to the fault codes directly. It's one of the biggest advantages that we have on the PAD 7's series. Also another feature that actually is on the PAD 7 this year, we've added another 6 new service functions. And this includes the ACC, which is the cruise control calibration to reset and calibrate the cruise control. So this has been added to the PAD 7. Also the AC system initializing, so it's been added this year to the PAD 7. The engine power balance, it's a great feature for misfiring of the vehicle, and also this has been added to the PAD 7 as a standard function. The GPF on gasoline vehicles has been added for most of these vehicles now from 2020 onwards. Direct injection petrol or gasoline vehicles, we need to do a regeneration on these like a diesel one, but this is for gasoline vehicles. We have added this function on the PAD 7. The other one that we've done is the motor angle sensor calibration. It comes standard on the PAD 7. So if you need to replace the ECU or the sensor, or the engine's been worked on, you may need to do the calibration on the crank and cam angle sensors. So this is the function. There's a quick and easy way to access that special function. And the last one is for high voltage battery health detection. This is for the electric hybrid vehicles. This has been added as a standard function on the PAD VII series regarding the other 26 service functions. So it covers all the functions that we do at the present moment. The other thing, another feature that is being added and improved with the PAD VII is the real time of the battery monitoring. This is actually real time now. Previously is a little bit slower, but because the PAD VII's a lot faster, a lot quicker, it's actually real time and it updates a lot quicker than it was before. The next feature is regarding the software more. Now this is an area that if the PAD VII doesn't have a special module of software that you require in your area, you can purchase it for that reason directly from the scan tool and download it to the unit to operate from the module. And this will have other modules added to it as required. The features of the PAD VII has an IP rating of 65, so it means that it's water resistant and dust proof for most of the workshop environments. So it's protected like most of the current pads have been. In certain environments you would need a 65 rating, so it comes equipped. The PAD VII has a fast battery charging, so it actually charges the battery a lot quicker than previous models. It's around 2.5 hours from 0 to 100% charge, which is quite quick for the size battery is on this PAD VII. And also modules, because of the PAD VII, it can actually be equipped with all the modules regarding the ADAS, mobile, the XProg 3, the battery tester, the TPMS unit, the video scope, and also the oscilloscope and sensor box. So we can add these modules to increase the capabilities of the PAD VII. And I've also mentioned we have a video on YouTube now regarding the unboxing. I talk a little bit about the PAD VII and also the modules that can be added, so you can view that later on. Now, special functions. The PAD VII has now, we're operating in an Android 9.0 version. Now, it was upgraded from the previous version. The processor is a octo core now. It's a lot quicker than previously. It has the 13.3 screen and also the Gorilla Glass. So the screen is a lot larger than the previous models, but as I said, we are using the same Gorilla Glass and the reliability of the screen if you're in sunlight. So it's even though the size screen, it's pretty good regarding that. The PAD VII has increased its memory. We have 8 gig of memory now, so it runs the oscilloscope and other functions reasonably well now, and the speed. And one of the functions is the PAD VII will have a special split screen, which I'll talk about a little bit regarding this. So it will have enough memory to operate it. The storage area on the PAD VII is increased also from the previous module, which is 256 gigabytes, so it's actually a lot more storage. The cameras are the same as the previous model. So the rear is around 16 megabytes and the front is around 8 megabytes. So that is the same regarding the previous model. It still has the dual bandwidth Wi-Fi, so it caters for most of the Wi-Fi. And the diagnostics, because we're using SmartLink and everything, uses Wi-Fi on this tablet, but also can be changed to Bluetooth. So if there is a issue with Wi-Fi, the tablet can be also operate the SmartLink connector as a diagnostic mode under Bluetooth also. The battery is a 19,000 milliamps, so it's larger than the previous model with a faster charge. And naturally the dimensions have changed, have increased because of the size of the tablet. Now in comparison, I put this chart up to compare regarding what is the difference between the models of the previous models, and you can see in red that the differences are the Android operating system, the 13.3 inch screen is bigger naturally. The processor is a different processor than the previous models. Also the memory, as I mentioned before, is increased. The battery has increased in size and it's still got the dual band Wi-Fi. Otherwise, most of the other standard functions are very similar to the previous model, except the physical dimensions of the pad itself regarding the size of the screen and the operation. Now UPS is unique selling perspective. So one of the things is hardware regarding selling the PAD VII above the opposition of other scan tools equivalent to this model. One is the hardware. The hardware is more powerful in most of them, in most cases, the speed of the tablet and its functionality. The other one is expandability. Because we're so flexible, we can actually add all the modules to the PAD VII. And the advantages are we can expand if the customer only wants the standard kit, and then later on he can expand to oscilloscope or a sensor box or other modules that can be equipped to the USB ports and operate on the PAD VII itself. So you don't need to buy any other screens or any other devices, we just buy the module itself. The software has one of the widest coverages. So the PAD VII will cover the most widest coverage that launch has to date. The other one is accessories, where as I said we have complete accessories where we can add on video scopes, sensor boxes to cater the customer needs regarding expansion and doing their diagnosis themselves. So let's just look over the hardware itself. So we have more choices. Now regarding the PAD VII, it is opened up now to the previous model. It's one of the larger advantages. So we have more choices. It has a larger screen and storage than the previous models, and most of the units that are actually on the market at the present moment for this size screen. It has the IP65 rating, so it's dust proof, water resistant to a workshop environment. The battery is increased and it has fast charging. So this is one of the problems with a lot of the tablets that took a long time to charge up. We've increased the rate of the charge time on the PAD VII. and the illumination of the screen to make it a bit stronger regarding if you're operating in the outside environment, the sunlight and high light areas. The screen is been improved. Extensibility. This is where the VCI comes on its own to most of the competitors. As I said, we are using SmartLink. Also, the VCI is equipped with everything. So if the customer wants a heavy-duty software or HD software to work on trucks, all he needs to do is purchase the software. You don't need to buy the hardware unless you need the connectors themselves. So otherwise, you can only need to buy some of the connectors and also the software, but the VCI is equipped already to cater for the HD upgrade. Multiple modules. So we can add, as I said earlier, we can add to the PAD VII regarding expansion. So TPMS, if the customer doesn't want to do it or does want to do it, we add the gun or the wand to it and expand the modules. Also the video scope or battery tester, we can sell it as a package or sell it individual. So we can expand multiple modules to the one unit. And the separate oscilloscope and sensor box, there's been argument about this regarding having it all in one unit, in one tablet. I've been doing diagnostics for nearly over 35 years, and I still like the oscilloscope separate with the screen, away from the diagnostic connector. The reason why is sometimes you have all the cables with the oscilloscope and sensor box, and you will need to go back to the rear of the vehicle, which especially with a hybrid vehicle, if you need to check the battery communications, which is at the back of the vehicle, and at the same time we can connect the VCI to the front diagnostics of the vehicle and then talk to them at the same time. Now this will be unique to PAD VII because at the present moment we are developing a split screen for PAD VII, so you can use the diagnostic VCI on one side and live data, which is the oscilloscope, on the other part of the screen. So it will be unique to the PAD VII. The other argument regarding having separate oscilloscope and boxes, if something goes wrong with a box, it will take down the scan tool or the VCI. So this is one of the things that you need to be aware of. So there is argument between having separate units, and it is personal choice, but as said, we work together with the PAD VII to have it separated, so you can actually hook the VCI at the front of the vehicle and the sensor boxes and also the oscilloscope can be at the front or at the rear of the vehicle with the tablet that you're viewing at the same time, diagnosing the vehicle, looking at the faults, and even activating sensors via the scan tool and looking at the oscilloscope for that signal. So it will be unique to PAD VII. Accessories, we have the non-OBD accessories. So again, like the previous models, you can not only at 16 pin, we have in the kit to do the old Mercedes, BMWs, the Toyotas, the Hondas, Subarus, so you have the non-OBD vehicles. And also it has HDMI cable if you need to display the screen to a tablet, a larger screen, for training purposes or some workshops like that. The software. The software itself is the topology that I mentioned earlier. So this is a key selling point. As I said, it's one page that you can analyze the whole vehicle and access the vehicle from that one page. So that regarding the fault codes, the special functions, you can see if a module is online or offline regarding the communications of the vehicle. And also the report can be done from the one page. It's a great feature. As I mentioned before, the split screen, we haven't released it yet, but it is actually will be released in a month or so, is we're doing something where we will be able to run the VCI on one side of the screen and then see the signals on the other side at the same time. So you don't have to have separate units to do it, or you switch on and off the screens to go from one module to another. We're going to bring two modules in the one screen area. So again, it will be unique to the PAD VII because of its power. The more is a quick way of purchasing software and upgrading the unit if there's a module that is actually missing on the PAD VII and you're doing a special vehicle, or upgrading the software. You only want signal upgrades. So this is the best way. You just go to the mall and upgrade that single version of software and upgrade it from the tablet itself, and quick and easy. Just an overview of the key things. The hardware, as I said, I mentioned, is a great advantage in a way that is actually a lot powerful. It's a lot quicker, has more memory, and it's also opened on this version. So the previous version it was locked. This version is open. The larger screen makes a big difference regarding viewing software, and especially if you use the oscilloscope and sensor box and so forth, the larger screen makes a big difference. The extendability is the built-in VCI hardware regarding HD, so not only commercial vehicles, also the passenger vehicles, all in one module. We can actually do the J2534 protocol regarding that, and also the SmartLink remote diagnosis or service. We can use it with that connector itself. And also, as I mentioned before, we can add a lot of modules to expand the diagnosis period. The software, I mentioned the split screen and more, and also the accessories. So it's a great advantage on this model. So as I said, the PAD VII is an all-in-one unit. So one is enough, and you just need to expand it for the customer's requirements. Now, I mentioned before, that's the end of the presentation regarding that. It was only going to be short at this point of time. We're going to expand on the modules. So with the regarding the information of tonight's presentation, we've got links that you can go to on the Launch Facebook account and see the live video of this presentation. Also on YouTube, we've added more videos to the YouTube site, and regarding the unboxing of the PAD VII is also there at the present moment, regarding what I've talked about a little bit tonight. So that's one of the views, is the unboxing of the thing. Tonight I've been using, I've opened up a Facebook account regarding the group. So future presentations, I'll just post it to this, and then it'll actually go to the Launch Facebook and YouTube site. But the live ones will come to the Launch Assist Live group and a notification. So leave a comment there. Also join up there, and a notification will come up with the next live presentation in the future videos. So thank you for attending this short presentation, and if you've got questions regarding the any information regarding the PAD VII, just contact the managers or send an email to headquarters regarding the different modules and availability of the PAD VII. I've been operating it for a little while at the moment with the different modules, and as said, a lot of advantages between this one and the previous module. So again, I'd like to thank you all attending tonight's live presentation. It's the very first one I've done, so be gentle on me. So the people that know me, I've been with Launch a long time, and hopefully we'll bring you a lot more presentations in the future. Thank you very much for attending tonight's session.